Welcome, welcome, welcome to Woman Show, where we believe truth plus transparency equals healing. Hosted by your girls. The Beauty Flies are in the building, and tonight we got Netta, Theo, and Sheila so far. Hey, ladies.
Hey, 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 family.
Yeah,
Hey, how y'all doing?
It's
good,
a wonderful
good,
day.
good,
Grateful
good.
to be here.
Yes, yes. So again, y'all know we start with a moment of gratitude because we got to give some people a chance to come in, and we just want to set the tone on a good note. So come on in with a moment of gratitude. Whoever wants to go first.
I am just grateful. I am just grateful. It's been a real, I will tell you, Sunday it set the tone for the week. And so
Mhm.
it's been a really, really good week. So I am grateful for you ladies, and I am grateful to be here tonight.
I know that's right. Come on in, Regina, Sheila,
Hey,
Netta. Who's
Regina.
Hey, Regina? Regina is in the
Hey.
building. Netta, what are you grateful for, Netta?
I am grateful for godly connections and opportunities, the ones that I'm aware of and the ones he has yet to reveal.
Woo wee. The pastor is in the building. The pastor has spoken.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
Sheila.
I'm gonna go with some local news today, and as tragic as it was, there was a shooting in New York City subway where multiple people were injured. But I am grateful that it was not as bad as it could have been.
Amen.
There could have been mass casualties, and thankfully, no one lost their life.
Oh, praise God. Come on in, Regina. What are you thankful for today?
I am thankful to be here because after work, I had to go do some errands and I'm rushing, rushing, rushing. And it's like, I got to be here because now it's a commitment. And I feel like if I'm not here, then I'm not serving the people. Well, how do you put it, Trey?
Uh-oh. If your purpose is
But
to serve the people that God assigned to you through your gifts, your talents, and your experiences.
yeah, so
So
every
thank you for
Tuesday I
showing
have to
up.
be here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I am really just grateful
Mm,
for the safety of my children. So
yeah.
I'm just grateful that, one of my son is good today and that I can actually hug him, squeeze him, and, just love on him and my all my kids, but one in particular because, sometimes you go through trials and tribulations with babies and it just shows you that thank God they're with you, right? So I'm just thankful for that. And of course I'm just blessed, thankful, grateful for the beauty flies, for showing up, for always saying yes to God. Because this is we could be any y'all could be anywhere else or we could be anywhere else. But I'm so glad that we are here serving. And tonight we have a wonderful topic. A wonderful, wonderful topic. So the question is, are you your own glass ceiling? Are you your own glass ceiling? Have you put limits on your potential for any reason? So let's talk a little bit about glass ceiling. So we know that a glass ceiling in a corporation or a company is when you have reached your highest level, right? Nowhere left for you to go. And you may have to leave that company or you may have to settle for that salary and a 50-cent raise for the rest of your life. But in life, as women, as entrepreneurs, as leaders, we can be our own glass ceiling. And I wanted to talk about this because it's been a lot of times in my life based on the fact that I don't have a college degree, right? And me and Netta were talking about this a few minutes ago, and I wanted to talk about this some more. Being that I don't have a college degree, there were plenty of times when I doubted my own potential, not somebody else. People weren't even looking for a college degree, but I would tell myself, you've gone as far as you could go with your level of education. So, ladies, come on in. Let's talk. Have you talk about a time when you've gotten yourself, when you told yourself that this is it for me?
I
When
can
you,
go back to actually high school because growing up in the South, there were some ceilings that were created for me which led to me creating new ceilings for myself.
Mm.
Even though I was in advanced classes my entire throughout high school, it still was as if for some reason I didn't believe I deserved to be there, even though I earned it. And it was based on my surroundings, the things around me that I allowed to frame and box me into where I thought I should stay. But that's not the case anymore.
Ooh wee, come on. And ladies, I love that. There was, and I just posted today about I made a little video that said, I don't have a lane, I have a life. And because I was sitting and thinking, people always ask me what I do. What do you do? I do a lot of stuff because I don't have a lane, I have a life. And I'm not gonna let, like you said, don't box me, and I'm not a piece of tissue. Okay? You get a box of tissues, not a box of people. So stop letting people box you in, like Netta said. Come on in. Who wants to talk next about a time when you made your own glass ceiling?
I mean, I think I probably have, although I have been successful in my career, I think I made my glass ceiling where I stayed in an industry that I was in for a really long time because I felt like I wasn't able to move out of it because I had been in that industry for so long. And I allowed other people to make me feel that way because when I would interview for positions, or go for positions, it was always like, oh, well, we're looking for someone that has finance experience. Are we looking for someone? And it wasn't until I, learn how to say, well, listen, HR is HR, wherever you go. All I got to do is learn your policies, right? But as far as the laws and the regulations, right, they're the same, right? Whatever company you're in, HR is HR, is policy. So I would say that's one instance where, I feel like I really boxed myself in. But it was a good career though, right? Because I grew, I thrived, I had a lot of opportunities working in healthcare, in HR. But I think I held myself back by making myself believe that what other people were telling me about transferring out of one industry into another. So I would say that's one example. I'm thankful that I'm not doing that anymore because I have, branched out and become an entrepreneur. And I think that's another thing that I probably took me a while to do because I didn't believe that I had the ability to do it.
Mm.
Right. And so that's one instance where I think I'm also created a glass ceiling for myself just by not believing in myself.
Listen, I love the part where you said I was in a good position. Sometimes we create a glass ceiling for ourselves because we get comfortable with that paycheck. Even though it's a good one, you have put yourself in a space that somebody is paying you good money when they know your potential is way more than what they're giving you. So you like, ooh, they giving me 6 figures. But really you could be earning 7 as an entrepreneur. Thank you, Theo. That was good. That was good stuff, girl. You just spoke to my soul already. Come on, Sheila or Regina.
One of the things that I realized is that, like I'm a person that needed the traditional structure, right? So I was never interested in entrepreneurship. I was never interested in branching out to do other things, to be socially active, to an extent where it's, there was giving back. Because even though as a Christian, I've always believed that we are here to serve and we're here to give back. I never allowed myself to do anything beyond and outside of church because, number one, I think I always looked at entrepreneurship as just another means to earn an income instead of looking at entrepreneurship as a way to live out your passion, to do something that you like and do something that you believe in, regardless of the money, because then that's where the connection comes in with Christ. Because if you are living your passion, you're tapping into your gifts and the money will come, or at least God will provide so that you wouldn't have to need.
Some of y'all are stuck in a traditional structure. Oh my goodness. You just freed somebody just now, Sheila. There's a lot of people that are stuck in a traditional structure of this is good, but we all deserve great. And a lot of times we don't notice because one, we're in families where there are things that are set in place for us in our mind, like if your father worked for the post office, get you a good government job and work. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with working for the post office. So don't nobody inbox me, email me, nothing. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with working at a bank. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with working at New Jersey Transit or whatever transit company is in your town. But a lot of times we have that traditional structure that is outlined for us and our family, and it creates a glass ceiling because you figure I made it to manager and you're supposed to own the McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? So you give yourself that glass ceiling of, oh, I made it to manager further than anybody thought I was gonna make it. And you talk yourself out of some things like, well, I made it. One, I just want everybody that's listening right to now to know you never make it. There is always better. Come on in, Regina.
Hi, good evening. So one of the glass ceilings that I started is just with my job before I relocated to North Carolina, because the opportunities that was given to me, and I thought that I wasn't good enough, or I limited myself when people were making a path away from me. And
Mm.
so I stopped myself. But then when I came to North Carolina, I flourished. Like I'll fall down and get back up.
Mm.
So, some of the things that I started out doing, some things failed, but okay, I would have never known if I didn't try. And I came out here without a job with some
Mm.
savings and used up all of my pension that I had saved that I really wasn't supposed to touch. But I came out here and it took me a long time to get established, but I finally got established. So I didn't let no limits stop me as far as relocating when I did
I love it. Listen, I
that.
think I think one of my biggest glass ceilings in my life has been thinking about missed opportunities, right?
Mhm.
Just thinking about I missed that opportunity, which puts me in a place of there's nowhere else to go. And I had to reprogram my mind and change my mindset to say, what's for me is for me. And yes, there were some missed opportunities that I should have taken advantage of, but I had to get myself out of that mindset of you're here in this place because you missed that opportunity. So you're getting what you deserve. Right. So I'm just like, I had to reprogram my mind and say, no, you deserve better. And if you keep pushing forward, that opportunity that you thought you missed, there's something greater for you. So that haunted me for a lot of years of thinking that a missed opportunity was supposed to be my big break. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my big break and I missed it. So let me just settle for bare minimum or what's best next to that, if that makes sense. So those are some of the things that put me in a mindset of I have reached my pivotal mark or I have reached the height of my career. And especially, I want to talk about education for a second. Ned, I'll let you come in next because we talked about your brother a little bit, if you don't mind sharing. But education has always been a glass ceiling in my mind. But I thank God for people who God brought into my life, like my coach, Dr. DC Marshall, who gave me opportunities that was beyond my education. Like she let me teach a class at a college that she was the professor at, and she was out of town. And she said, I need you to be the professor tonight. Okay. And I was like, oh, what? I'm going to be a professor? I only got a high school education. She was like, I need you to go in there and fill in for me. You're going to give them the exam. And it wasn't a big deal to anybody else, but it was a big deal because I was never going to be no professor. And it just opened up my eyes to the possibilities of what could be next. So come on in there to talk about, how somebody can advance without a college degree to the top of the game and still moving higher.
Absolutely. Before I get into the story about my brother, I wanted to share a quote that I really liked from Tony Robbins. It says, the past does not equal the future unless you live there.
Woo! I wish I had some sound effects because I would be like, "Brr, brr, 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 brr."
That is huge because a lot of our limiting beliefs are from something that occurred in our past. So,
Talk
all
a little
right.
bit more about that real quick.
In terms of, so
Limited beliefs.
experiences, yes, experiences can cause us to see ourselves in a way that we actually are not.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
so
going home. I forgot
that's
I'm home already.
other people's opinions, the words that we allow to settle in our hearts that are not true. Those things can inhibit, stop, block, and delay where we should be going if we receive them. But the flip side of that is you don't have to.
Come on, Jesus.
So, in terms of my brother, I wanted to share that he went into the military right after high school. So he did not go to college, got out of the military, and he has a mindset that is unmatched as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing he can't do if he believes it. And that's for all of us. But he's an example that I'm using. He is now the COO of a major company, multiple six figures, without a college degree. And it's his mindset. There are no limits for him because he believes God owns it all anyway. So, and since he belongs to God, that means he has access to it all. So he said there are a lot of people that know more than he does, but there are very few people who will outwork him in terms of strategy. So I'm just honored to see him flourish and not allow anybody's limiting belief come in and block his progress, because he has plans, he has goals. And the other thing he shares is surround yourself with people who are where you want to go.
Come on, brother. Come on, brother. I mean, I just want people to understand that we are our own worst. That voice in our head is our own worst enemy. We have to get out of the mindset of, like Netta said, seeds that have been planted in us, things that we think about ourselves. I'm not educated, or my parents were this and that. Nothing can stop you but you. Theo, you wanted to come in?
And I was going to say part of it is also, right, the limitations that society and corporations put on, because they use the degree requirement to filter out certain people, right? And so that's why under this whole new D&I initiative, right, a lot of companies are going back and starting to look at their job descriptions and their requirements for degrees, because being an HR professional, I can tell you for sure that if you want to shrink your pool, you put a requirement of a master's or a bachelor's, right? Because that's going to limit the number of people that might be available for that position, right? And it's going to disqualify other people. And when you continue to go for jobs and you look and you see degree required, that becomes your mindset. But you really do, like Netta said, have to get out of that mindset, because I will tell you, there are people that have the college degrees that have no common sense, that have no ability to do the job, right? Like, right? And so the reality is, don't let not having a college degree stop you, because your experience and just your drive and motivation, right, is what is going to be the end all and be all, right, for you getting to where you want to be. And I say that having 2 degrees, right?
Woo! Well, come on now with your paperwork.
But the reality is that I was blessed with common sense also. But the reality is that there are a lot of people that have degrees because they were good at taking tests.
Oh, Theo, 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 Theo. Stop, Theo. Come on now. You about to make us end the show. That's it. We done for the night. we don't got nothing else to say. Theo,
I'm, I'm sorry.
oh, corporate.
No offense to anyone. I put that disclaimer. That is
True.
the Theodora and not the women to women show.
Yes. And no, but Theo is the truth. Is Sheila, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, it actually took me going to college to realize that college is not the end all be all, that not everyone needs to go to college. Not everyone has to go to college. It took my first real job after college to realize that something that you may want to do does not require a college degree. And I'll tell you, I started out in the insurance field, insurance claims field, so just several months after I graduated from college. And as I started, I kind of developed an interest in being a mechanic, because I just found the whole thing about going out and inspecting these damaged cars and being able to write an estimate and knowing the parts of a car and knowing what's underneath the hood, under the, the undercarriage and things like that. I just found all of that fascinating. I also found it fascinating that there weren't any women, or very few women, who were in that line specifically, because the auto body shops were strictly for men for the most part, and they didn't take women seriously. But there was just something to me that was really intriguing about being able to know about cars and to be able to fix them, and to go in there and tell somebody, I know how that part of the car actually got damaged, and it wasn't from this accident, or it was from an accident, but it wasn't from this one here. So it's like the realizations that come to you as you start experiencing and learning in different things. And then just like, you realizing now that, when we were in school, you had woodworking, you had automotives, you had so many trades, right? That you didn't necessarily have to go to a vocational school to learn it, because you had the foundation right there in high school, sometimes even in junior high school, so that when you graduated, you can then look to further your career there. And I think we've gotten so much away from that. I think we talked about it once before, plumbers and electricians make a heck of a lot of money. And if you're a homeowner, those are the last people that you want to call, because generally what they're charging is not in your budget. And it didn't require them to go to obtain thousands of dollars in loans and spending 4 years in the school, unless they really wanted to. But those are the kind of people who didn't allow the limits to be set upon them.
Come on now. Can you? I need an oil change. You want to come over? I'll pay you, girl. I get the family wage. I actually got to go get an oil change tomorrow, but you can come over here and drop this oil pan.
You know what I'm saying? Look, nowadays, I don't even want to wash my own car.
I'm mad at you right now, but it's okay. Come on in, Regina.
Okay. I wanted to say, let's not forget about the ones who paid for their degrees.
Come on now. Help that.
They went to school and paid somebody to take the test and paid. So they didn't really do anything. They frauded their way through.
I paid someone to write the paper.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they got all these degrees and these accolades, and they don't know anything, or they don't, and they just found a way to get their way through. And so that was the way of them breaking their glass ceiling. They found someone to do it for them and go get the job. So those are the things I ran across, people like that. And being in the first industry, well, now I'm in HR now, and I see another side. Like, I see these people double six figures, and I'm like, how did you even get a job when you come? Because they have no common sense.
It's so true.
I'm like, are you? And then I go and look. I'm like, are you kidding me? When I see your salary, but
I love it.
but that's the and just speechless.
But to say that like you said, Regina, they didn't let the fact that, and we're not telling anybody to go get somebody to take your test for you or none of that. We ain't telling nobody, but they didn't let something stop them based on the fact that they were not good at taking tests. Like Theo said, some people just blew through college because they were good at taking tests. It wasn't like they were, super duper. And we're not knocking anybody who got their degree, but we don't want you to. Regina's point is that they found a way to get to the top of their game and to climb and rise higher and higher. And they were not going to let anything stop them, meaning they were not going to let flunking out of college stop them. So there's so many glass ceilings that come our way. And we have to be mindful of the fact that the only thing, the only thing that is ever stopping us is Jesus the Christ or yourself. And so many of us, well, I should say so many people, because we're in a different space here because we work on ourselves. Sundays we come together, we work on ourselves. So many people are in the mindset of nobody won't give me an opportunity, nobody won't help me. You have let the fact that somebody is not opening a door for you or allotting you an opportunity to be a glass ceiling. You are staying down here because you are waiting for somebody else when you have the key to your own door, right? You get to stand up. You're sitting like this and there's a glass ceiling over your head that is nobody's helping me. A lot of us as entrepreneurs, we are where we are because we busted the ceiling ourselves. We didn't say, "Oh, I'm a speaker, but nobody's letting me have a stage." Guess what? Nobody letting me speak. I'm gonna have a stage because I'm gonna do my own conference. If I'm the only one standing virtually or in a building, y'all gonna hate. But I'm not gonna let that be something that stops me. Hey Shayla, come on in. We are talking about glass ceilings. Hey,
Hi, hi everybody. Apologies for my lateness. It's been a long day.
it
But
is okay.
to piggyback on what Theo was saying about the degrees and not knowing, actually let me backtrack and just on the subject itself in that when I entered the corporate environment, I never had it in mind that, I was trying to climb to a certain area because honestly, that was like my plan B because I wanted to be a model. I wanted to be a runway model to be specific. And at that time, that was just plan B that I was working to pay the bills before I got my break until I found out I was too short to be a runway model at that time. So it wasn't an issue for me because that wasn't my goal. But I was always a learner and I'm still always a learner and I'm a teachable person. So in whatever environment that I was in, if the opportunity came for me to learn something different and something new, I took it, especially if it was free. And in one company I worked for, I started out as the admin and moved up to I think I was what's it called? I was moved up about 4 times. And the straw that broke the camel's back was they hired a male that was good. They wanted to be paying him the same thing that I had earned my way to.
Ooh.
So when they decided that my ceiling was capped, because then if they kept paying me and giving me a promotion, I would be making more than the male. They told me, "Oh, because we like you, we're going to give you, a bonus, but we can't increase your salary."
Oh.
I
They
said,
red circled you. They red circled you.
well, since this wasn't my end game anyway, peace out. Bye-bye. I left
I know
because
that's right.
that was my first encounter with, someone trying to cap me. But me personally capping myself, my own, I would say when it came to, I'll go back to this, to my singing. And, at the beginning, comparing myself to other singers and that I wasn't the same type of singing. I can't do the acrobats. I'm a straightforward, straight to the point, simple, type of singer. But I've learned that, okay, then that's my style, and that there is a group of people that enjoy that. On the opportunities that I've had to sing by myself, at least one person would come to me and say, I so enjoyed it. And that's all I needed. And
Hmm.
after that moment, I was, you know what? I accept the type of singer that I am. And, you know, we'll just keep going.
Wow. I love that. Comparison is a
I
glass
was gonna,
ceiling.
I was gonna say that part right there is the key, right? Like the comparison will kill you when you start comparing yourself to other people. It will.
Comparison is a glass ceiling. Oh, Shayla. Tonight is on fire. If you just tuned in, you're tuning to Woman Show. We're here every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. You can also catch us streaming live for now on Facebook, but we are going all the way over to YouTube in another 2 months. We're just giving people time to get used to the YouTube channel because we know that we have people who follow us on Facebook and we want them to make sure they're going with us. So make sure you subscribe to the New You Nation Network YouTube channel, the New You Nation Network YouTube channel, because I saw Netta look at me like, girl, you talk too fast. But I caught that. I caught the eye. So again, there's one more thing that we can talk about before we go to our therapy card. Let's talk about the glass ceiling. Let's talk about the limited mindset from a seed being planted. Has anybody ever planted a seed in your head that kept coming up, and maybe until you did some work? Anybody can come in.
I don't think there's ever been a seed planted because I was early on in my career. I was kind of like Shay. I started out as an administrative assistant, and I was fortunate enough to have mentors who would come to me and say, "Hey, there's this promotion here." Because like Sheila, I would take advantage of every opportunity to learn. But one of the things I was going to say is I think the other glass ceiling that we forget about is that we are sometimes in positions where there are people that know people. So they come in and they climb or they come in at the top just because of who they know, right? And so I think at times we sit back and be like, oh, I'm not going to go for that because they already got this person in mind. Or, oh, I'm not going to go for that because they're going to bring their sister or their cousin or their brother or whoever in, right? And so I think that sometimes can be a limited belief because you convince yourself, like, I've seen this happen so many times. Why should I even try?
Woo. Ooh, it's a no before you even ask. That's crazy. There's one seed that was planted in my mind, and it probably wasn't planted by anybody in particular, but from my environment because I came from a dysfunctional background. Like I came from drugs, alcohol, domestic violence, abuse, a loud home, just a lot of chaos and confusion that, I didn't have a mother who was educated. I didn't have a mom who sat down with me and said, come on, let's fill out these college applications. I had a mom where I was just surviving to become an adult and get a job and be able to eat and feed myself or whatever that looked like. So the glass ceiling was there was no structure for me. So we see young women and we see young men, and we're talking about women tonight who have mothers who are in sororities. We see women who have mothers who are highly educated or they've worked at a job for years and years and they usher their daughters in. Or we see women who have that support, even if it was a stay-at-home mom, but she was sober, she was aware, she was alert. So a lot of us are trapped in this mindset, this limited mindset because of the environment that we came from. And I just want anybody who's listening to know it's not where you came from, it's where you're going. So don't let the fact that you didn't have the opportunity to go to college or you didn't have a parent that knew how to talk to you about other things, not just school, but who just didn't know, who was, had addiction, or a parent who just had a high school education. We don't want that to be their story, to be our limited belief. That is their story. And you can go and have anything you want. And I had to learn that for myself, that just because my mom was you fill in the blank, or just because my dad was you fill in the blank. That did not define how far I'm supposed to go in life. I decided that I would not put a glass ceiling over my head because I grew up in dysfunction. I would not put a glass ceiling over my head because I grew up in the hood. I would not put a glass ceiling over my head because of circumstances and experiences that I've had along the journey. I decided that I wanted better for myself, and all I had to do was be a continuous learner, right? I begin to want to learn and grow. So I just want anybody who's listening right now, just don't let the environment that you came from or that the people that surround, even if you're still in that environment now, don't let that be your glass ceiling. You could get out of there. And it doesn't have to be started from the top. You know, people want to start from the top. And I think Theo just said it. You know, some people come in the game because they father own a company. So they're gonna be the VP. But you can work your way up. And when a true leader sees you, I don't care if their son, daughter, niece, nephew is in that company. If they see that you are going to make progress and that you're going to bring that company money, they will bump that baby out the way and move you right on in there. Come on in, ladies.
I think people also need to get clear on what it is they want, because I think Sheila talked about this, right? Which is, some of us did grow up in that structure where you went to school, you got a job, and this is the path you want. And it's funny because I just was having this conversation with two of my cousins, and we were talking about one of our other cousins who is an entrepreneur, and he's young and he's doing his thing, and I'm so proud of him. And my other cousin who was like, MTA is like, oh, they should go get a civil job. And I'm like, why should he go get a job with MTA if that's not what he wants to do, right? And so I think the other thing is not get stuck in this is what I am supposed to do, which is similar to what you were saying, Trey, right? Like what you and Sheila was saying. And I think everybody has said it, right? Like, I think we're at a point where, especially since COVID, where people just really need to do what you get up every day and you like are passionate about and you want to do. And that may not always happen, right? And like Regina said, you may try something and may not work, but don't just settle for being where you are, because that check you get every 2 weeks is a security blanket, right? Because like Sheila said, God will make up for it on the other side, right?
Yes.
The other thing that Netta said that's important about what her brother said is, right, you have to surround yourself with like-minded people, and you have to surround yourself with people who are doing what you want to do.
Yes.
You're the smartest person in your group, you need a new group.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Guys, before we move on, I got my little book here from Tony Robbins, the training that I went through. And there's a definition or a statement about beliefs, which I think it fits here. Beliefs have the power to create and the power to destroy. Human beings have that awesome ability to take any experience of their lives and create a meaning that disempowers them, or one that can literally save their lives.
Woo.
So beliefs, you know, it's important to have clarity on what those beliefs are, whether they're true or not. Where did they come from? What are they rooted in? We have to do some self-reflection on our thought process and our mindset. That's ongoing. Like someone else said in the comments, I think it's Verletha Bird. She says, eliminating negative beliefs about myself has been an ongoing process. And that's a good thing. If it's ongoing, it means you didn't stop. So that's a good thing. And all of us, you know, we daily take a look at our beliefs, and it either empowers us or it causes us to pause.
Woo, come on, girl. That was a whole masterclass. We're going to go to if you just tuned in, you're tuned into the Woman to Woman show. We're here every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. And at 8:30, between 8:30 and 8:40, we go to our therapy card, where Netta pulls a therapy card from Dr. Ebony, and we unpack something for the evening. And we would love, 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 love if everyone who is watching will put their answer in the chat that so we can read it or share it or work through it with you, because there's a lot of coaches in the building. I'm just going to say that. And we're here to help. We're just not here to sit. We want to make sure that this is beneficial to everyone watching. So come on, Netta, with the therapy card. We all nervous. Everybody biting their nails.
It happens every week. So this is my therapy cards from Dr. Ebony. It's drebony.com where we can find these cards, but every week they are on point. So let's see what happens. Okay, I just pulled the one on top. What makes it difficult to change? I.e., fear, family, culture, etc. Explore what might happen, good and bad, in your life if you were to make changes.
One more time.
What makes it difficult to change? Is it fear? Is it family? Is it culture, etc.? And the task is to explore what might happen, good or bad, in your life if you make changes.
Ooh, wee. Come on in, ladies. What makes it difficult to change? Shayla, you want to hop on that, girl?
Well, yeah. I'm not sure that I could say it's been difficult because, in all honesty, for most of my life, I've experienced change. So I think I've gotten accustomed to it, if that makes sense. So when something changes in my life, I really don't feel, yeah, this is, I can't say that it's something that I would see as a difficulty, but there was one point in time that I felt that culturally, because where I grew up, people really hung on to what other people said about their life or situation. So they wouldn't do certain things because of being afraid of what the community might say or think. I grew out of that because I saw how it ruined people's lives. So I just didn't bother, taking heed to that. But yeah, my life has been full of changes. So I'm not sure that I can actually say that it's been it's a difficult thing to do.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Anybody else want to jump in? What makes it difficult to change?
I want to jump in with a little bit of strengths conversation. I love my Gallup Clifton strengths. One strength that would make this not difficult is adaptability. And that sounds like what Shayla was talking about. If you have adaptability high, you can go with the flow. Things can change and you find your footing quickly. But for those that may have discipline high or strategy, people who are very regimented in how they operate in life, I could see that being difficult when change appears. I think what makes it difficult to change is the unknown. Not knowing. If you're a person who is a high learner, who loves information and input and get the research before you decide, or if you're a person who is deliberative, you got to look at all the angles. That might make it difficult for change. So it's really as unique as we are. We all are uniquely created. So whether it's difficult or not depends on who we are and what we've experienced in life. I don't find it difficult to change personally. I believe change is awesome. We should always look for ways to change for the better, of course.
I would say mindset, it makes it difficult to change, right? The whole mindset piece that we're talking about right now is like changing your attitude, like changing just for me, again, I talk a lot about acceptance, right? Because when it's hard to change, it's because you're not accepting something that you need to accept, right? Because something needs to change. You're not willing to accept the fact that that thing needs to go, that thing needs to stay, or that thing needs to not exist in your space anymore, or that person. So that change comes from the fact of you're not accepting the fact that this thing is out of your control. So a lot of my ability to change in the recent years has come from me just accepting things like, okay, this is going to be a change, and I just have to accept that. It may not be easy, because most of the time change is not easy, because like Netta said, it's unknown territory. When you're changing, you're so used to something that's familiar, and a lot of people get stuck in it, and that's why they get stuck on the glass ceiling. But a lot of people get stuck in the familiar things in their life. So when something begins to change, they don't want to accept, whether it's a relationship, whether you lose your job, whether they downsize, whether a friend doesn't want to speak to you anymore. That change will really, that fear will kick in, because you're not willing to accept that you don't have control over a situation. And one thing that comes with that is understanding and accepting that God is in control of all things. So he knew before it was going to happen, right? He knew me before I was in my mother's womb. So I have to accept some things along my journey when it comes to change. And that's how it's been a little more smooth for me, because change was a fear of mine years and years ago, until I did some work on myself to say, why do you fear change? And a lot of it was because I like to be in a comfortable state with the same people, the same things. And until I learned that there's better out there, the sky is the limit now.
I would say for me, I don't know that I found it difficult, but I was thinking about this the other day, right? Because I would say fear, but then I would say I think I end up doing stuff in fear, right? So I think the thing that, because I was thinking the other day, like when I first decided to move from the Bronx to New Jersey, right? I just like made the decision, went, found a house, and I told like my whole family and friends, like when I was about to close, hey, I'm closing and I'm moving right next week, right? So I would say for me, I think what kind of helped me kind of just be able to move forward, because my cousin would always say, you make up your mind to do something and you just do it, right? Part of that is because I learned to stop talking to people about what I was going to do, or what I was doing, until after it's done. Because what happens is when you talk to people, they begin to give you the opinion that you didn't ask for, right? And you get to chitter chatter, and then it begins to circulate in your mind with the plans that you have. So one of the reasons that I begin to just move and then talk after is because I realized if I made up my mind to do something, I then need to come up with the plan, how I'm going to do it, and just do it. And then I let people know after, right? Because then no one can say, oh, you know, why are you going to do that? You don't know anyone in New Jersey. Oh, you're going to move to North Carolina. What you going to do? Oh, what you going to do about your job, right? I need to say all of that, right? So it makes it a little easier for me to, and so I would say that's the biggest lesson that I have learned is everyone doesn't need to know what you're doing. They don't need to co-sign what you're doing. And sometimes you just need to move in silence and do what you're going to do.
Woo! I'm sorry, who's next? That was good stuff.
That was good stuff.
I'll go next. I would say what Theo said, like move in silence, but also, man, I lost my thought. But move in silence and don't let it, oh, I know what I was thinking of. Valuing someone else's opinion. You know, for me, oh, what do you think about this? And that goes in hand with moving in silence, because somebody could talk you out of something that had nothing to do. They don't even know what your strategy is, but you value their opinion, so you won't go and do because they're telling you, but they don't know all the components that took place. They don't know the research you've done. They don't know anything. They're just giving you opinion, but then it's your fault for listening to them. So in this season, especially with COVID, I found out, and with my beauty flies, I feel like I've been thriving. I don't care what people say anymore. And I don't tell them. And people have been falling off by the wayside that they wasn't supposed to be there. They might come back. But right now, I don't need them in my head hearing all that noise and all that clutter, because that will make you thrive. And one of the things I also wanted to say, I think the last question, one thing that I used to think I couldn't do, and this has a lot of to me of not breaking a ceiling, is I was always the darkest one. So that stopped me a lot because I thought I was too
Mm.
dark for a lot of things. And
Ooh.
I had to overcome that. So sometimes your personality, your look, the way you look, it stops you from doing things. So we have to work on that as well. So
Woo! Y'all on fire tonight. Y'all always come throwing salt in the wound. Now, she said she took this conversation to a whole nother direction of a glass ceiling based on your appearance and your personality. God darn it. Come on, Regina. Stop, please. No, that is so good because
and
a lot of people don't get to where they go because they're looking in the mirror and they're thinking something bad about themselves. First of all, we are all fearfully and wonderfully made. Second of all, we are all the shade that we're supposed to be. Ain't nothing wrong with nail one of our melanin. Third of all, God did not created us equal, each and every one of us. He is not no the respecter of man. He don't love nobody more than he loved me, even though I'm his favorite child. But we could argue about that later. Come on in, Sheila.
You know, we kind of talked about, it runs the gamut of, what keeps you from changing, whether it is fear of the unknown or not being able to have control. But it's also a feeling of not just comfort, but sometimes it could just be complacency. It's like,
Mm.
I'm already here. Why do I need to go any further? Why go out there and test something out when right here, I'm good. I'm good right where I am. And you don't know that you're actually good because you're not thinking beyond where you are. You're not thinking of how change, while it may be hard, is eventually going to be beneficial to you and to others maybe around you. But that complacency will keep you stuck
Mm.
for a long time and will make you think the change is not necessary, which is a very detrimental thought.
Oh my goodness, my God. I am so enjoying this conversation tonight. We're gonna bring Shayla in. Shayla, come on in, honey, because I'm here for all this.
I'm sorry, I was having some technical issues. So what is it that I'm coming in on?
We're coming in on why is oh you answered it. Why is it difficult for change? So now
Oh
we're
yeah,
gonna because you don't have no difficulty in change because you have learned, what did you say, Anetta? Adaptability.
adaptability. I'm
Yes, that's your
adaptable.
new
Yes,
word.
that's
So it
good.
is, we got it's 8:53 already. So let's come in with our final thoughts about breaking your own glass ceiling, not the glass ceiling of others, not no job, not no friends, no families, but I do love what Regina said, like folks to really talk you out of some stuff. We can't let people talk us out of our greatness, and we got to stop sharing so much with people that they will sit down. You will have, like Theo said, I'm moving to North Carolina. Had she went and shared with the wrong people, they would have sat and tried to talk her out of it. And she is doing amazing things, living her best life. And a lot of times we have to remember there are people around us who are not living their best life. There are people around us who have limited beliefs. There are people around us who are their own glass ceiling, and we have to stay away from them. You become what you listen to, you become what you ingest. And Net'll talk about this. That is food, products, chemicals, your ketchup, your little neck rub, whatever it is, you are becoming that. It is getting inside of you. So you have to be careful of who you share your hopes, dreams, and aspirations with, because they will talk you right underneath your own glass ceiling. So let's go around and do our final thought, and let's do a 30 second to a minute final thought of, for anybody who's listening who has limited beliefs, who has given themselves a glass ceiling and blaming others, what would y'all like to say?
I'll say, first of all, look at the evidence of your successes already.
Oh,
Look through what you've already accomplished. there's evidence already present that shares that you are enough. You are a child of God, if that's what you believe. And He doesn't make junk. He's equipped you exactly the way you need to be. You are uniquely created. You're uniquely gifted. There are things on this earth that only you have been assigned to do. So don't hold back on the gift that you are to this beautiful earth. We need you. Show up and show out.
Well, dang. Who want to go next?
I mean,
Oh,
go ahead.
okay. So I just wrote down, don't let others project their fears onto you.
One more
So,
time.
don't let others project their fears onto you. And Moneta said it. You are created specifically the way that God intended to create you. So when you go to other people and ask them questions, and I could testify to that because I had to work my way out of that. Just do not allow them. And that started with me cutting my hair. Simple as that. Someone told me don't do it. I did it anyway. And then after I did it, they did it. They told me that they didn't want me to do it because they were afraid of doing it. So they wanted to see who was going to be brave enough to do it. When they saw that I was brave enough to do it, then they went and did it. So had I listened to that, I wouldn't have experienced the new birth, let's put it that way, that I experienced when I cut my hair. So don't let them project onto you.
The new birth, ma'am. Y'all tonight, what y'all over there sipping on something?
Can I make a quick plug? Can I make a quick plug?
Yes, ma'am. Wait, hold on.
One quick plug.
Let me put you up here on the big screen.
Okay, quick plug. Shay's Corner, my business will be vending at the White Plains Galleria Mall on April the 23rd with Shayla from WBLS. So come on out. All those people that are in the Westchester area, Connecticut area, come out and support. That's it.
I know that's right. That's what we here for, girl. You ain't got to ask. That ain't no plug. This our platform. We do what we want to do. We plug all day if we want to. Anybody else got a book plug? Anything you doing? Don't forget to say it. Sheila or Regina, come on in. Oh, Theo wanted to come in. Come on, Theo.
I'm just gonna say, definitely agree with Shayla and Netta said, but I'm gonna say, do it afraid. I mean, fear is good. I think sometimes fear is that adrenaline that people don't even realize that they need. But I would say also, don't wait for opportunities to come to you. Seek out opportunities and then, be a part of making it happen for yourself and become uncomfortable. Be comfortable being uncomfortable.
They stepping on toes tonight. I'm sorry, y'all. I wasn't. They ain't tell me none of this. I just unleashed them on you. Come on in, Sheila.
Look, I'm still on the new birth part.
Okay, come through
Shayla
with the new
that.
birth.
Shayla brought that. But I'm gonna go a little philosophical on you people tonight, right? Because I'm gonna quote the words of one of the greatest rappers to ever walk the earth, and that's Nas. And Nas's song, I Can. I know I can be what I want to be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be. In other words, break that glass ceiling, whether it's imaginary or not. Be who you want to be. Work hard at it because you can.
We rapping and stuff tonight. Come on in, Regina. I'm scared. Come on in, Regina.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. But I'm gonna say be relentless in everything you do. Get that power and just even if you fall down, be relentless in falling down and get right back up. Because you could do it. Just like Sheila said, you work hard at it. So we're gonna finish hard. We'll finish strong, and hard. Any way you look at it, you finish it with power and you just get back up. So that is mine because I have with my walking group, I think I shared this before. We all have to have a superhero name. So my superhero name is Relentless because I faced some challenges and I just burst through them. Like I want Theo, we have to do this together since you're down here. It's Crowder's Mountain. that was one of the things that I attempted. And when I cried and cried and cried to get to the top of that mountain, it was hard work. And I was probably like 50 pounds heavier than I am now. I had some health issues, but I walked up the mountain. I had a sister walk with me, and the power that I got when I got to the top of that mountain, I quit. I saw that thing. I was like, oh, I ain't doing that. But but that's what you do. You have to be relentless in everything you do. In failure, relentless. In your struggles, relentless. You just have to be relentless. That's just been my word. And I just tell everybody, I just push through. So that's
All right, we climbing the mountain. I'm ready. Let me know.
Oh my God. I love it, love it, love it. Be relentless. My goodness.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, believe in yourself. Okay, listen, believe in yourself. The sky is not the limit. Your thinking is.
Ooh.
You can be the CEO. You can get promoted. You can be wealthy. At this moment in time right now, stop asking yourself, why me? And start asking yourself, why not me? Okay, so anything you want, you can do. Anywhere you want to go, you can go. All you have to do is understand that the sky is not the limit. The sky is not the limit. You are. And I want every woman listening tonight and every man listening tonight to know that there is nothing on this planet that is stopping you but you, because you are unstoppable. Because the word of God says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It did not say some things, and it did not say one thing. It did not say anything. It said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I hope this was good for y'all tonight. I have to thank my beauty flies because y'all came in here. Y'all ain't beauty flies tonight. Y'all fireflies. How about that? Because y'all came in here and lit these folks on fire. I don't know what y'all was talking about earlier behind the scenes or whatever, but y'all came in here doing the most. So we want to say thank you for tuning in. We don't take that lightly. It's a privilege to be in your life. Follow us on Instagram, W2W Show, W2W Show. Please subscribe to the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. And don't forget to share, because
Sharing is caring.
Again, we believe truth plus transparency equals healing. Remember, you are only as sick as your secrets. It's healing time. See you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Woman to Woman Show on the New You Nation Network. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I need to walk with me on this journey. Yes, hold me accountable, 'cause sometimes I need to know the truth. Sister, I love you. We're one in the same, 'cause we're sharing the pain of the world as we know it to be. Sister, I need you to walk with me on this journey. Yes, hold me accountable, 'cause sometimes I